So today we will be discussing our topic, that is infective endocarditis. So what does this word mean? Infective endocarditis lines the heart inner layer and also includes the valves. These are the heart valves. When there is bacteria will infect these valves, there will be infection leading to infective endocarditis. Okay. So by definition, this is a microbiological infection of heart valves or endocardium. This is a heart valves and these are the vegetations. Infection will lead to vegetations ki amra porbo, and this will involve the heart valves. Okay, mainly this is characterized by vegetations that is composed of thrombotic debris and infective organisms. This leads to destruction of these valves and that will lead to the clinical features. So, endocarditis can be divided into two. Basically, first is acute endocarditis and the next is subacute endocarditis. This is based on the clinical course and the virulence of the infected organism. If the infective organism is highly virulent, it will cause acute endocarditis. But if it is less virulent, it will cause subacute endocarditis. Okay. So first we discuss acute infective endocarditis. Acute means it will be acute in onset, and next there will be infection of the, it will cause infection of normal heart valves. But it is caused by highly virulent organism. Example is Staphylococcus aureus. This is the most common organism which causes infective endocarditis. Remember this A for A, aureus for acute, okay? And it can be also caused by Staphylococcus pyogenes. This will lead to, since these organisms are highly virulent, it will cause very infection, rapid infection, and this will lead to destruction of the valves. The valves will be destroyed and this is not curable. This will ultimately lead to death of the person. Okay, so acute infective endocarditis is a very serious condition. So next comes our subacute endocarditis. In acute endocarditis, we saw the valves were normal, but in case of subacute endocarditis, there will be structurally abnormal valves. This will be insidious in onset and caused by lower virulence organisms. The name of these organisms is Streptococcus viridis and Staphylococcus epidermidis. This was caused by Staphylococcus aureus, and most common organism causing subacute is Streptococcus, right? So this will involve previously abnormal heart valves. Okay, this can be also deformed valves due to rheumatic heart disease or congenital heart diseases, and this is less destructive than the acute ones. This can be managed by antibiotics, but in that acute case, it is very difficult to manage, and this has a very limited course and can be cured, and complications are uncommon. So here this is our heart valves, and these are the vegetations we see. This is a case of acute endocarditis. These are the heart valves and these are the vegetations. These are composed of the bacteria and the thrombi which are formed. We will come to that how they are formed. Just look at this. This is an acute which causes large vegetations and destructive, and this is the subacute endocardium which causes less destruction due to the lesser virulent organisms. These are the small vegetations, and here we have large vegetations. So this is acute and this is subacute. So this is a difference. First, already we discussed this. So to sum up, this is a acute means this onset will be acute and this will be insidious. And next, the condition of the valve will be normal valves will be infected, and in case of subacute, the already structurally abnormal valves will be affected. And the virulent organisms, this will be highly virulent, caused by highly virulent organisms. Example, caused by this acute endocarditis caused by Staphylococcus aureus. These are the highly virulent organism, and subacute is caused by low virulent. Example, Streptococcus viridans. So these lesions are very much, these are rapidly destroyed the valves, and these are lead to less destructive valves. And the clinical features will be of acute infection, and there will be lesser complications in case of subacute endocarditis, and the clinical course will be limited in case of subacute, but it will lead to death in case of acute infection. And the complications are includes acute heart failure and sepsis in case of acute endocarditis, but these infectious complications are rare in case of subacute endocarditis. So, as we already discussed, our common etiologies, the organisms are the, for acute this is Staphylococcus aureus, the most common, and for subacute it is Streptococcus viridans. And the other organism which can cause endocarditis are Enterococcus and the Staphylococcus epidermidis. So the more than 90% of our cases are caused by Staphylococcus and Streptococcus. This Staphylococcus, as we saw, it was the common cause of acute infective endocarditis, and it also causes infective endocarditis in case of IV drug addicts. This can be an MCQ question. So for IV drug addicts, it is the infective organism is also Staphylococcus aureus, and Streptococcus viridans causes subacute infective endocarditis, and there we saw it was the valves were already abnormal. So it is causes infective endocarditis in previously damaged or abnormal valves. And another one is the prosthetic valve endocarditis. These prosthetic means these are artificial valves. The normal valves which are destroyed, and then they are replaced by surgically replaced by prosthetic valves. And for those cases, the infection is caused by coagulase negative Staphylococcus, that is Staphylococcus epidermidis. So we have three important causative agents. One is the Staphylococcus aureus, which causes acute infective endocarditis along with IV in case of IV drug users. Next is Streptococcus viridans, which causes subacute, and in cases of damaged or abnormal valves, and this Staphylococcus epidermidis causes infection in case of prosthetic valve endocarditis. So other bacteria which can also cause endocarditis are the Hasse group of bacteria. Next is our Enterococci and the gram-negative bacilli and fungi. So we have three risk factors or the predisposing factors for this condition. Not everyone will have this infective endocarditis. Some of these three major conditions will lead or predispose a person to this condition. So first is our conditions that will lead for infection. There has to be a source, right? So first of all, there has to be a conditions which will lead to bacteremia. Bacteremia means there will be increased bacteria and load in blood. Okay, so next there has to be underlying heart disease. Already there should be a heart disease like congenital heart diseases or chronic rheumatoid heart diseases. These are the conditions which will be a risk factor for this condition. And next is our impaired host defense mechanism. If there already the immune system of a person is destroyed, impaired, it will not be able to fight with the infection. So let's discuss one by one. So these are the conditions with bacteremia. First is there is a obvious source of infection somewhere. The person can be undergoing any dental or surgical procedure, and there can be the infection source can come from urinary catheter or obstructive procedures, and there can be due by contaminated needles shared by intravenous drug users, and also there can be breaks in the epithelial barriers. Any source of infection in the body or any kind of outside foreign body or anything, major or minor cuts that can, or any surgical procedure can lead to a source, that can be a source of infection that will be lead to bacteremia. So in any of these cases, these are the risk factors. And in underlying heart diseases can be, one is the congenital heart diseases which are present from the birth, and next is a chronic rheumatoid heart disease which occurs after the rheumatic fever. Next is the degenerative calcific valvular diseases which are seen in the elderly, and then can be iatrogenic or the artificial valves which are also called the prosthetic valves. For prosthetic valves, which was a organism that was causing this infective endocarditis? Which is an organism which causes infection in case of prosthetic valves? Or subacute. Staphylococcus epidermidis. Yes. So next is our impaired host defense mechanism, which can be, leads to reduced immunity. These are the conditions you already know. These are the diabetes, any kind of malignancy, in case of chemotherapy, and when there is neutropenia or less neutrophils, it will be condition leading to impaired host defense mechanism. So these three factors will be predisposing, or the risk factors, predisposing factors to this condition. So this is the pathogenesis. Already we are having this in risk predisposing factors, and next there will be infective endocarditis will form in 5 steps. First of all, there has to be endocardial damage and endothelial degeneration. This is a valve leaflet, and there is damage in this valve. So this, after there is damage, the first response will body do is to accumulate the platelets there and form a thrombi. In any case where there is endothelial damage or endothelial exposure, there is activation of platelets which will deposit and form a thrombus. So first there is formation of a sterile thrombi. There is only platelet deposition, and after these platelets are deposited, since there is bacteremia, as you already discussed, the bacteria will adhere to this over these platelet glands, and this will, and also there will be inflammatory infiltrates, and this bacteria will accumulate and they will form colonies. They will multiply and form colonies over these valves. Over these are the valves. Over these valves, they will form the colonies, and these whole thing will be called as vegetations. So vegetation includes this infective organisms, that is a bacteria, along with the previous platelet and fibrin thrombi, along with the inflammatory debris. So these are the vegetations will be formed, and these vegetations will destroy or damage the valve. And these vegetations, these are not stable. These are very friable, and they can get easily detached from the valve, and this will formed as emboli. From here they will spread to different organs. So first is our endocardial damage. Next comes is the formation of sterile thrombus. Next there is adherence of the microorganisms, and after that there is proliferation of microorganisms within the vegetations, and then there will be formation of emboli. This will cause to complications. Let's discuss in details. So first there will be damaged valves or congenital defects creates abnormal blood velocity. This will lead to and turbulence, which will cause endocardial damage, and this can lead to denuded endothelial surfaces. After that, there is this damaged endothelial surfaces attracts the platelet and fibrin aggregates, and they will form small sterile vegetations. Over this, since there is transient bacteremia, the microorganisms gain access to the circulation, and there is adherence deposition over these sterile vegetations. So first, this sterile thrombi become infected because of bacterial adherence. Next, there will be there will be further deposition of the platelets, and the microorganisms will proliferate over these vegetations and form colonies. After this, these vegetations can get detached from and spread to elsewhere by blood to any organ. So just to summarize, these first there is endothelial injury. Next there will be platelet and fibrin deposition, which is also known as these are the sterile vegetations, which are also called non-bacterial till now. After that there is transient bacteremia, which will lead to bacterial colonization, formation of vegetations. This will lead to valve destruction and finally embolization. আর এবার দেখিয়ে দিচ্ছি। ফার্স্টে there is this valve, এখানে ভালভের উপর হচ্ছে ভালভে কোনো রকম ড্যামেজ হয়েছে, তো এক্সপোজার অফ দ্য এন্ডোথেলিয়াল সারফেস হচ্ছে, তো সেখানে ফার্স্টে আমাদের থ্রম্বাস ফর্মেশন হবে বাই প্লেটলেটস। আফটার দ্যাট এখানে ব্যাকটেরিয়া উইল অ্যাডহেয়ার। ফার্স্টে হচ্ছে প্লেটলেট দিয়ে ফর্মেশন হলো, সেটাকে বলছে স্টেরাইল, দিস ইজ এ স্টেরাইল থ্রম্বাস। তারপরে সে অ্যাডহেয়ার করলো, সেটা হচ্ছে ইনফেক্টিভ formation, and after that there will bacteria will colonize and multiply, and they will lead to formation of vegetations. এই ভেজিটেশনস গুলো এখানে ফর্ম হলো, দিস দুটো কমপ্লিকেশন, একটা হচ্ছে ভালভটাকেই ডিস্ট্রয় করছে যেখানে ভেজিটেশন ফর্ম হচ্ছে সেটা, প্লাস হচ্ছে এখানকার যে ভেজিটেশন যেগুলো ফর্ম হলো সেগুলোই ভেঙে গিয়ে ডিফারেন্ট পার্টসে দে উইল স্প্রেড অ্যান্ড লিড টু ইনফেকশন and lead to complications. So the pathophysiology, this bacteria adhere to the damaged endothelium. This will form the infective vegetations, and continuous bacteremia will also lead to immune complex depositions, and they will have systemic side effects like glomerulonephritis. So this is a gross pathology. Grossly what we see, these are the vegetations. These vegetations are the hallmarks of infective endocarditis. So these vegetations will be friable, that means it will break easily, and they are large in size, bulky, and these are destructive. This will destroy these valves. This is a valve leaflet, and this is a chorditendinae. They will destroy the valve and associated other structures of the heart also. This is a characteristic we find in case of infective endocarditis. The most common valves which are affected are the aortic and the mitral valves. These are the left-sided valves which are the most commonly involved, that is the aortic and the mitral valves. And the right-sided valves, that is the tricuspid valve, will be involved in case of IV drug uses. So in other conditions also we can find this type of vegetations, but these are different from the infective endocarditis. This is the vegetation we saw in infective endocarditis. These are the small, large and destructive warty vegetations. This is a case which will cause destructive. This one is a destructive one. And this is a vegetations. These are the small vegetations which are formed in the line of closure of the valve leaflet. These are found in case of rheumatoid heart disease, rheumatic heart disease, and this is a non-bacterial thrombotic endocarditis. This is a non-infective one. There will be small to medium sized, but they will be on one side of the leaflet. And this is a case of Liebman-Sachs endocarditis. This is formed in case of SLE patients or the systemic lupus endocarditis. There will be vegetations in both sides of the leaflet. This is a form of this pattern only, it is non-bacterial, but this will be formed on both sides of the leaflet. This is on one side of the leaflet and both sides of the leaflets. This is a MCQ question which can come for NEET PG, and in MCQs this difference can come. So these are the small warty vegetations in case of rheumatoid heart disease. Just remember this picture. These are the large and the warty and friable destructive vegetations which are formed in infective endocarditis. These are the small to medium sized vegetations which are formed on one side of the valve, and this is the Liebman's acts endocarditis which are formed in both sides of the valve. So this is a gross image. These are the vegetations we find in infective endocarditis. These are the vegetations on the valve leaflets, and these are also the vegetations. This has destroyed the valve and formed an abscess, which is known as a ring abscess. Since it has destroyed the valve and formed a ring abscess. So the microscopically we will also see these vegetations only. The vegetations there will be valve tissue destruction and there will be vegetations. These vegetations are composed of the platelets, fibrin, cell debris and inflammatory cells, and there will be masses of bacteria or the organisms that are infected. Later it can show fibrosis calcification and chronic inflammatory infiltrates. So the clinical features, since this is an infection, the most common feature will be fever. Along with this, there will be chills, weakness, etc. And on clinical examination, there will be heart murmur. Since this conditions will lead to regurgitation and that will cause heart murmur. And there can be also signs of embolization if there is complication. So these are some important peripheral signs we can find in this case. That is, we have this Janeway lesions, ossular nodes, rod spot and splinter hemorrhages. Splinter hemorrhages, these are the features of these are the complications of infective endocarditis. These are the features of hemostasis. This is splinter hemorrhages. They will be found in case of nail beds jodi hoy hemorrhage mane kothay ki type er hemorrhage hocche sei onujay different names are given. So if it is found in case of nail beds, it will cause called as splinter hemorrhages. These are found. This is a rod spots which are hemorrhagic spots which are found in the retina. These are the Janeway lesions. These are painless lesions which are found in the palms and foot. And these are the ossular nodes which are painful and are found in the fingers. So ossular nodes are the painful which are found in the fingers, and in the palms and soles we have the hemorrhagic spots which are painless. These are known as Janeway lesions. In case of retina, there will be hemorrhagic spots are known as rod spots, and in nail beds there will be splinter hemorrhages. So this combines. These are the in palms we have the Janeway lesions. In the fingers, these are the ossular node. In the nail beds, this is the subungual or splinter hemorrhages, and in eyes we find in the retina there are rod spots. These clinical features are more important in medicine. When you study medicine, this topic will again be covered, and the clinical features will be more important then. Along with there is fever, and there is in auscultation we will find murmur. So how to diagnose this case? First of all, we have to find out which type of organism is present. So for that, we have to do the blood culture. This is a gold standard. Before giving any kind of antibiotics, we have to send for blood cultures. This has to be positive for any of the organisms that was discussed. And in echocardiography, we will find this vegetations. And there are Duke's criteria for diagnosing this condition. So the most important, first we have to send this blood culture, and next is our gold standard. That is a gold standard, and along with it we have to do this echocardiography. So for Duke's criteria, there are pathologic and clinical criteria. Any one will fulfill. For pathologic, we have to there should be demonstration of microorganisms by culture or histology, by examination of these vegetations or emboli, but this is not possible in many cases. So we have this clinical criteria. For clinical criteria, there are major and minor criteria. This is a modified Duke's criteria. For definitive diagnosis, we have to have minimum of this. If we have this two major criteria, this will be fulfilled, and if there is only one major criteria, there has to be 3 minor criteria along with it, or there has to be all 5 minor criteria. So first there is for major criteria, the first two things which for diagnosis, that is the blood culture, it should be positive 2 times 12 hours apart. Along with there should be echocardiographic evidence of endomyocardial vegetations, endocardial vegetations, and in minor criteria there will be fever. Along with there will be the predisposing risk factors that we discussed. These are the congenital heart conditions or the IV drug uses, and along with there will be embolic phenomena, which will, these are the painless skin lesions or the septic emboli. These examples are this that we saw. These are the Janeway lesions and all. And in immunologic phenomenon, there will be Osler's node and Roth spots. These are due to the immune complex formation, and there will be also a microbiological evidence can be there, but there is positive blood culture, not for if suppose there is only positive blood culture, we found it once, not the 2 times, 12 hours apart, only once we find the blood culture positive, then it will not be fulfilled in minor criteria. We have to look for other major criteria, it will have to look for other minor criteria. তাহলে কি হতে হবে, দুটো মেজর ক্রাইটেরিয়া ফুলফিল হলে বা হচ্ছে 1 major and 3 minor, or if no major criteria is there, we have to fulfill 5 minor criteria. The complications can be both cardiac and extracardiac. For cardiac complications, there will be damage to the heart valves. Along with it, there is ring abscesses formation that we saw in that picture. The damaged heart valve will lead to abscess formation, and there can be perforation and rupture of the leaflets, valve leaflets, and there can be myocardial abscess and suppurative pericarditis along with valvular dysfunction. And these are the extra cardiac complications which can occur. This is due to the embolic complications. Why embolus? Because the vegetations were friable and they can form an emboli and lodge into other organs, forming leading to this complications. One is a septic infarct. They can lodge into the spleen, kidney or brain, causing septic infarcts. Or there can be myocardic aneurysms or small microthrombi can be lodged, and they form tiny hemorrhagic lesions, which we saw in these pictures. That is the splinter hemorrhages or the subangular hemorrhages, which is found in the nail bed. And next is our Janeway lesions, which were the painless lesions which were found in the palm. And next, this is the immunological phenomenon. These are found due to immune complex depositions, which among this, first is our glomerulonephritis, that is the focal segmental glomerulonephritis, and along with Osler's node and the Roth spots. Roth spots কোথায় দেখলাম আমরা, রেটিনায়, আর Osler's node are the painful lesions which are found in the fingers. So to conclude with, these are the infective endocarditis is a life-threatening condition. Early diagnosis should be crucial, and the hallmark of this infection is vegetations, and Staphylococcus aureus is causes acute infective endocarditis, and Streptococcus viridis causes subacute endocarditis. And the blood culture is a gold standard for diagnosis, and embolism is a major complication. So for infective endocarditis, their important things will be vegetations, embolism. Clinically, there will be murmur and fever. Most common cause for acute endocarditis, Staphylococcus aureus. কোনটা পেনফুল, জেনওয়ে না অসলার? অসলারটা কোথায় হচ্ছিল, আমাদের ফিঙ্গারে, ওইটা হচ্ছে পেনফুল, আর জেনওয়েটা হচ্ছে পাম্পস আর সোলে হচ্ছে সেটা পেনলেস। ঠিক আছে, কমন কমপ্লিকেশন, So the theory questions can come like this with a clinical scenario, like a 24-year male presents with high grade fever, chills and breathlessness. There was no prior heart disease. So on examination, there is new mitral regurgitation murmur is found. So blood cultures grow Staphylococcus aureus. So what can be the diagnosis? Acute infective endocarditis. Why acute? First of all, এখানে হচ্ছে হাই গ্রেড অ্যাকিউট ফিভার নিয়ে প্রেজেন্ট করছে, প্লাস হচ্ছে এখানে কোনো প্রায়ার হার্ট ডিজিজ নেই, প্লাস হচ্ছে এখানে Staphylococcus aureus highly virulent organism which is found. প্লাস এখানে মারমার পাচ্ছে, তো এটা ক্লিনিক্যালি ইটস so for diagnosis there is acute infective endocarditis and there is rapid onset highly virulent organism. It affects the normal valves and the pathogenesis will be this the 5 points that we discussed. আরেকবার রিভাইজ কর pathogenesis. ফার্স্টে কি হচ্ছে, there is endocardial damage and next there is formation of thrombi, that is sterile vegetation, and after that there will be bacteria will form and they will colonize and multiply and form vegetations, and that will lead to valve destruction, and then last it will be emboli formation. And the complications হচ্ছে দুভাবে লিখবি, ফার্স্টে ওই কার্ডিয়াক আর এক্সট্রা কার্ডিয়াক বলে যেরকম ছিল, these are complications, just নাম ডেসক্রিপশন লিখতে হবে না, জাস্ট পয়েন্টস গুলো লিখলেই হবে। কার্ডিয়াক আর এক্সট্রা কার্ডিয়াক দুভাবে ডিভাইড করে, ডিউ টু এম্বোলিক অ্যান্ড ইমিউনোলজিক্যাল। কমপ্লিকেশনসে ওই যে লিশন গুলো দেখলি সেগুলোই হচ্ছে কমপ্লিকেশন। So this is a 40 years, another case, this is a 40 years old with a history of rheumatic heart disease which presents with low grade fever, fatigue and weight loss, and blood culture shows viridans streptococci. This is a subacute infective endocarditis. Why? Fever low grade plus হচ্ছে streptococcus infection. There is also damaged valve ছিল, rheumatic heart disease already হচ্ছে patient of previous heart disease. So this is a, and it follows a indolent course and low virulent organism. So this is a subacute endocarditis. And really a question can come with the peripheral lesions which you saw, the painful finger nodules or the painless palm lesions and retinal hemorrhages. যদি তার সাথে ফিভার থাকে এরকম যদি কোয়েশ্চেন থাকে তো সেটা হচ্ছে ইনফেক্টিভ এন্ডোকার্ডাইটিস। So let's just quickly revise. The first to define, these are the infections of the endocardium or the valves which lead to formation of vegetations. And the etiology for acute, this is Staphylococcus aureus, and for subacute there is Streptococcus viridans. And for prosthetic valves, there we will have Staphylococcus epidermidis. And in case of IV drug users, what kind of infection? IV drug users? Okay, Staphylococcus aureus only. Grossly, there is bulky friable vegetations and valve destruction. তারপর হচ্ছে on microscopy there is the vegetations which are formed of fibrin and the bacterial colonies and the inflammatory cells. The clinical features, there is the fever will be the most common presentation along with newly formed murmur and fatigue, and for diagnosis gold standard is blood culture, and next is our echocardiography, and next we have to fulfill the Duke's criteria. And for the complications, there can be cardiac and extracardiac. Cardiac will include the valve destruction and heart failure and all, and the emboli will be causing brain infarct and other infarcts, and those lesions along with the Janeway lesions and other hemorrhages. And in immunology, there is glomerular nephritis and the Osler's node and the Rorschach spots.